Have you ever woken up in the morning, and before the day has even begun, your mind is already full of dark thoughts? Thoughts of fear, thoughts of anger, thoughts of, I am not good enough, thoughts of, what if everything goes wrong? And no matter how hard you try, you cannot make them stop. My dear friends, today's story has just 4 words that will change the way you think forever. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let us begin. Once upon a time, in a small village at the edge of a great ancient forest, there lived a wise old grandfather named Elias. Elias was 70 years old. He had a long white beard, deep, calm eyes that had seen everything life could offer: joy and pain, victory and loss, sunshine and storm. And yet those eyes were always peaceful. People from the entire village came to Elias when they were troubled, when they could not sleep, when their hearts were heavy, when life felt too loud and too dark and too much. Elias always listened, always quietly, always patiently, and he always had exactly the right words. He had a grandson named Adam. Adam was 15 years old, bright, sensitive, and full of a fire that burned both ways, warming him when things were good and burning him when things were not. Adam felt everything deeply, too deeply sometimes. That particular winter, Adam was struggling. He had lost a close friend to a bitter argument. He had failed an important exam. He had been laughed at by classmates for a mistake he made in front of everyone. And instead of letting these things pass, Adam's mind grabbed on to every single one of them and would not let go. At night, he lay awake, replaying every painful moment. During the day, dark thoughts followed him like shadows. You are not smart enough. Nobody really likes you. You always fail. Things will never get better. He tried to push them away. He tried to distract himself. He tried to pretend they were not there. But the harder he pushed, the louder they got. One cold evening, Adam walked to his grandfather's house through the snow. He knocked on the door. When Elias opened it and saw his grandson's face, tired, troubled, and carrying something too heavy for young shoulders, he simply stepped aside and said, "Come in. Sit down. Tell me everything." Adam sat by the fire and for a long time said nothing. Then, slowly, quietly, it all came out. The argument, the exam, the humiliation, the dark thoughts that never stopped, the anger he felt at himself, the fear that this darkness inside him was just who he was. "Grandfather," he finally said, his voice cracking slightly, "I feel like there were 2 wolves fighting inside me every single day." Elias looked at him calmly and said nothing, just listened. "One wolf," Adam continued, "is full of darkness, anger, fear, jealousy, shame. It tells me I am not enough. It tells me the worst will always happen. It makes me say things I regret and think things that make me feel sick." He paused. "And the other wolf is different. It is calm. It is kind. It is hopeful. It believes in good things. It tells me to be patient, to be brave, to keep going." Adam looked at his grandfather with desperate eyes and asked, "Which wolf will win, grandfather? Which one is stronger?" The fire crackled quietly between them. Elias looked at his grandson for a long moment, those deep, calm eyes holding something ancient and certain. Then he said, "The one you feed." Adam stared at his grandfather. "That is it?" he said. "The one I feed?" Elias smiled gently and leaned forward. "Adam, every thought you give your attention to, you are feeding. Every dark thought you replay over and over in your mind, you are giving it food, water, and sunlight. You are helping it grow. You are making it stronger." Adam was quiet. "And every time you choose, even for one moment, to think of something good, something hopeful, something kind, you are feeding the other wolf. you are making it stronger. But grandfather, Adam said, I cannot control which thoughts come into my head. They just appear. Elias nodded slowly. You are right. You cannot always control which thoughts arrive at your door. Thoughts come and go like weather. You cannot stop the rain from falling. He paused. But you can control whether you open the door and invite the rain inside. Adam looked at the fire for a long moment. So I do not have to believe every thought I think? Elias smiled, the warmest, most knowing smile. Now you understand. Adam sat quietly for a while thinking about this. Then he looked up and said, But grandfather, what about the dark wolf? Do I just ignore it completely? Pretend it does not exist? Elias shook his head slowly. No, Adam, never ignore it. The dark wolf exists for a reason. Your anger tells you when something is wrong. Your fear keeps you safe. Your pain tells you that you care. He looked at his grandson carefully. The dark wolf is not your enemy. It is part of you. But it is meant to be a messenger, not a master. A messenger? Adam said. Yes, Elias said. When the dark wolf speaks, listen to what it is telling you. Then think it. And then choose the other wolf to lead. Adam looked into the fire for a long time. Outside, the snow fell softly and silently over the village. Inside, the fire burned warm and steady. And something inside Adam, something that had been twisted and tight for weeks, slowly, quietly, began to loosen. Adam walked home that night through the snow, feeling lighter than he had in months. Not because his problems had disappeared, not because the dark wolf was gone, but because, for the first time, he understood that he had a choice. Not a choice about which thoughts arrived, but a choice about which ones he welcomed, which ones he fed, which ones he allowed to grow and lead and speak for him. From that winter forward, Adam practiced. Every time a dark thought arrived, he would notice it, name it, and ask himself, is this the wolf I want to feed today? Sometimes he fed the wrong wolf. He was human, after all. But slowly, day by day, the right wolf grew stronger, and the darkness, though it never disappeared completely, grew quieter. Many years later, when Adam was a grandfather himself, with his own grandchildren sitting around his own fire, one of them looked up at him with troubled eyes and said, "Grandfather, why do I always have such dark thoughts? Will they ever stop?" Adam smiled, the same warm, knowing smile his grandfather had given him all those years ago in the snow. And he said, "Let me tell you about two wolves." And so, my dear friends, the story of Adam and his grandfather teaches us something profound today. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are visitors. They come and they go. Some are welcome, some are not. But none of them, not a single one, has power over you unless you give it that power. The next time a dark thought arrives, do not panic. Do not fight it. Do not hate yourself for having it. Simply ask, is this the wolf I want to feed? And then, gently, choose again. Choose the thought that builds you. Choose the thought that heals you. Choose the thought that moves you forward. Because your mind is a garden, and you, only you, decide what grows there.